kind of waffle. Um, it's okay. So Sallie Wagner is a What Next strategist. She incorporates EFT, and I just, from a show of hands, am curious how many people know what EFT is? Emotional freedom technique. Okay. I have to tell you guys, when I first talked to her, I said, I'm so glad that there's a licensed attorney, real estate broker, and real estate instructor with a business background bringing EFT to you, because EFT has been a game changer for me over my entire life and my kids' life. I was telling her that my daughter used to wake up in the middle of the night with nosebleeds, and she would do these EFT tappings and it would go away. For me, if I would be afraid of something, like I was in a really bad car wreck in Orlando and I got out of the car and I'm kind of like, I don't know if you've ever had shock. I mean, I was having shock, and then I just remembered do EFT, and it was like within 60 seconds, I was able to shift from just manic running around. My friends kind of grabbed me going, Shannon, go over here, to being able to focus and get clear. And so I'm telling you a couple of trauma things, but it's also a tool that even if you're doing great, to help you even be greater. And so I'm so thrilled, Sallie, that you're doing what you're doing, but she guides you to efficiently and effectively identify and get rid of beliefs that hold you back, empower you to fully embrace your life's challenges in order to discover, create, and live the life that makes you come alive and love what's next. She's an international speaker, author, trainer, and life coach. Sallie's workshops and customized coaching programs inspire you and give you the tools you need to achieve the results you want in your life. As I mentioned, attorney, real estate broker, instructor. She provides real estate brokerage and contract compliance consulting services to real estate brokerage companies throughout Florida. She also owns a real estate school, providing exceptional real estate educational opportunities throughout the world. And so, wow, thank you, Sallie, so much for being here. Do you need the slides by Yes.
Yes, if I could.
Carolina, if you can give her permission to share. And can we give her our warm, this is in sign language, round of applause? Yay!
Thank you. And I encourage everyone, please participate in the chat as I go through. And I want it to be not just me talking to you, but everybody participating.
And real quick, yes. Sorry. Real quick, do you need a reminder timer of time, or will you have that?
I'm good. I'm right at 20 minutes. Is that still good?
20 to 25.
Okay, so we should be good time-wise.
Okay, sounds great.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. As you have heard, I'm Sallie Wagner, speaker, author, lawyer, real estate broker, and instructor. I provide broker and contract compliance consulting services to real estate brokerages throughout Florida. I'm like the broker on call for 2,000 plus agents, fielding their questions about transactions and contracts. And as Shannon mentioned, I also have a real estate school providing Florida real estate educational opportunities for people seeking a real estate license, as well as for people who are licensed and seeking continuing education. And I'm a life coach. Some of you are probably wondering what a life coach does or why anybody would want or need one. Think of life coaching as fertilizer. No, it's not a load of manure. It helps you accelerate your growth in business, in life, in whatever direction you choose. I help you do that as your what's next strategist, your life alchemist, guiding you to identify and get rid of those beliefs that hold you back so you can discover and live the life that makes you come alive and love what's next for your life. For 4 decades, I've studied and implemented transformational principles, and I've built structures and systems around those principles to guide you on your path to achieve your goals and get the results you want in your life. As Shannon mentioned, those systems and structures include EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, for even greater acceleration along the path toward your goals. And you've heard that. You could check out my websites and my social media and learn most of that about me. So here's something you won't learn about me from those sources. 17 years ago this year, on International Talk Like a Pirate Day, and it's coming up pretty soon, my first husband died and I killed him. Now, it doesn't say that as the cause of death. It doesn't say she did it, but I know it was me. You see, I fell asleep. We were keeping watch and I fell asleep. And backing up from there, days before, he tells me how tired he is. And I know what he's telling me, that he's too tired to go on. And I tell him it's okay. If you need to go, you can go. And he asks if the kids will be okay, if I'll be okay. And I lie. And I tell him, yes, we'll be okay. And I know that I killed him. If only I hadn't given him permission. If only I hadn't fallen asleep. If only. So does anybody believe that I killed him? No, I don't either. Not now. But I did. And I carried that belief and that guilt with me for a long time. And it held me back from living my life. Now I know it's not true. And that's the crux of it. It's not what you don't know that holds you back. It's what you do know that's not true that holds you back. Here's another one that I used to know that's not true. I have to be perfect. Anybody else have that one? Put it in the chat if it's you. Clearly, it's not true, but I used to know it, and it held me back from so many things in life. Because if I have to be perfect, and I know I'm not going to be perfect at something, then I just won't do it, right? You see how the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves make such a difference. They either move you forward or they hold you back, depending upon what you tell yourself. What stories are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself stories that are true, or are you telling yourself stories that are not true? Remember, it's not what you don't know that holds you back. So many times, the solution to our challenges is not to learn more, not to learn what we don't know. The solution is to unlearn what we know that's not true. What do you know that's not true, that's holding you back? And why do we know things that are not true? It's because of programming from our families, society, the world, that tells us things that are not true, and we believe it. We're constantly bombarded with messages that you have to be a certain way, look a certain way, wear certain clothes, own certain cars to be worthy, to be loved. We're constantly told we're too much this or not enough that. All those messages, all that programming holds us back from living the life that makes us come alive. I call that programming apps, like on your phone, mind apps. They're the software that runs in your subconscious mind, which is like your operating system. Did you know that those apps run 95 to 99% of your day? That's because your subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than your conscious mind, which controls only 1 to, at most, 5% of your daily activities. The rest of the time, your apps are in control, which means you're running on autopilot. Does that happen to you when you drive or take a shower or do any other routine task? We're already living the zombie apocalypse. We just don't know it. No. Now, by now, you're probably wondering why you should care about any of this. Wouldn't you love to know how to uninstall those apps so you can make changes and conscious choices in your life? Now, let's do a quick experiment so you can see how powerful your mind is when you consciously focus that power. Okay, so everybody match your hands and your fingers together. Match it down here and then see. Is one bigger? Are the fingers longer on one hand than the other? Yeah, I think everybody is mostly. Now, don't do this until I tell you to go. I'll say go, it's not now, and we'll do it all together. We're going to tell that smaller hand to grow. We're going to look at it, focus on it. We're going to speak the words firmly, powerfully, confidently. We're going to say grow 10 times all together. Ready? Go. Grow, 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 grow. Okay, now match them up again. Which one is bigger? Did it change? Wouldn't it be powerful to direct that force of your mind to making conscious choices in your life, to getting the results you want in your life, in your business? It absolutely would be powerful. In my coaching programs, I take people through a process to do that. As I mentioned, that process includes EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, to harness and focus that power of your mind even more and accelerate you on your path to getting the results you want to see in your life. One of my most popular programs is called Reboot Your Thinking, How to Install and Uninstall Mind Apps. Remember, mind apps are paradigms. So today, I'm sharing 3 simple concepts that will kickstart the process for you to begin to live the life that makes you come alive. It's really 3 by 3, 3 sets of 3 things to remember. The first set of 3 is MSG, mindset, skill set, get off your asset. Mindset is what we've already talked about, and then some. Contrary to what you may have heard, mindset is not just thinking happy thoughts like Peter Pan. There's much more to it than that. Mindset includes your programming, your mind apps, which means that a big part of mindset is the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. When you become aware of your mindset, you can begin to change the stories you tell yourself about yourself, and you can rewrite the story of your life. Today, we'll touch on 3 components of mindset: perception, will, reason. These are not mutually exclusive. There's some overlap, as you'll see. First is perception. Who remembers the story of the blind man and the elephant? Each of them felt and experienced a different part of the elephant, trunk, tail, tusks, and so on. And so each of them defined it in a different way. They were all right, and they were also all wrong because their perceptions were incomplete. Your perception is always incomplete, and it will either move you forward or hold you back, depending upon what you tell yourself about yourself. We all know Henry Ford's famous statement. So, action step. Ask yourself, what is your perception of yourself? You don't have to tell anybody, just think about it. Think about what you're telling yourself about yourself. Do you like the story you're telling yourself, or would you prefer a different story? Guess what? For better or worse, you have chosen that story, which means if you don't like it, you can choose a different one, a better one. When you make that choice, choose a story that moves you forward, a story that makes you happy and makes it possible for you to share that happiness with others. Side note, did you know happiness is contagious for 3 degrees? When you're happy, it spreads to your friends, and their friends' friends, easily 1,000 people, likely many more with our social media spheres. Why does happiness matter? All kinds of reasons. It's good for your health, you live longer, and happy people are successful people. Do you want to do business with somebody who's sullen and unpleasant all the time? No. That's perception. Next is your willpower. I'm sorry, it's your will, and it's not willpower. If it's a matter of willpower, you've already lost the battle. Your will is your ability to focus, like when we focused on making our hands grow. You've heard where there's a will, there's a way. The truth is, when you strengthen your will by focusing, you'll see the way. So, action step. Exercise your will. Focus for yourself, for your goals. We'll talk more about that later. That's will. Last, we have reason, your ability to think. You must think in the way that enables you to achieve the results you want to see in your life, in your business. Action step. Focus your thoughts on the results you want and define yourself in relation to them, not in relation to the results you currently see. That's reason. Perception, will, reason, all these and more. This is mindset. It all starts with mindset. However, most of the time we need to take some steps to get the right mindset. And that's where Skillset comes in. The right skills will lead to the right mindset. One of the most important skills we can have is goal setting. There's definitely a skill to setting goals. Goals are important because when we set goals for ourselves, we can potentially change our thinking, which can affect mindset. There are lots of guidelines you can use to set your goals. We'll talk about 3. Make it big, ask the right questions, be specific. The first principle is make it big. You either live by design or by default. So design your life on a grand scale. Ask yourself, are your goals big enough? Why do we sometimes set goals that are too small, goals that are not worthy of us? Maybe because we believe we're not worthy. You're probably telling yourself, of course I believe I'm worthy. But remember, it's not what you don't know that holds you back. Those mind apps, those things we know that are not true, show up in subtle ways. They show up in small ways in how we treat ourselves every day, in how we affirm our worth. Be generous with yourself in time and money, in commitment to your own development. Value yourself, affirm your worth, set big goals. Second, ask questions, the right questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you're willing to ask. So ask the hard questions. This is definitely a skill that most of us lack. Start by asking yourself what makes you come alive. That's the question you must ask, because your goals should represent what you really want, not what somebody else wants for you, not what somebody else thinks you should do, not even what you think you should do. We hide in the questions we don't ask. We allow others to hide in the questions we don't ask. There's no hiding here. Ask the hard questions. Questions like, why is a particular thing important to you? Is it important because you deem it to be worthy of you? Or is it because somebody told you it should be important? Or how about this? In a year or 2 or 3, when you look back, what do you think you will wish you had done? What will you regret not doing? Wrap your head around that one. And my favorite, who are you when you're not doing what you do? When you're not pursuing your career, building your business, being a parent, a child, a spouse, a partner? Who are you when you're not doing that? Russell Brand says we are all in recovery to recover the person we are intended to be. So ask the hard questions, peel away those layers to recover who you are intended to be and discover the life that makes you come alive. Our last point is be as specific as possible in stating your goals. If you don't specify, the universe will fill in the blanks and you may not get the results you intend. Remember, words matter. We've all heard the joke about the guy who wishes for $1 million and suddenly he's surrounded by deer. Don't be that guy. So mindset, skill set, then it's time to take action. We have to get off our assets. And here is our second set of 3. 3 easy steps you can use to create a system to take action. Who has goals for their lives? Everybody? Yeah. Did you know that 80% of Americans don't have goals for their lives? Just thinking about your goals puts you in the top 20%, and you increase your chances of success to 43%. So here's the first step in your system. Write your goals down, and you increase your chances of success to 56%. It's so simple and so obvious, people think it can't possibly make a difference, and yet it does. The second step in your system is share your goals with somebody. Share them with family, friends, a goal buddy, somebody. Why don't we share our goals? Because we're afraid we'll fail, right? I'm not going to tell anybody I'm on a diet because what if I don't lose the weight I want to lose? What if I don't go on that fabulous vacation I've been thinking about? Side note, maybe fear of failure is another reason we don't set big goals for ourselves. Who here has failed? Has anybody not failed? Failure is part of the system. It's a tool, not an outcome. It's a resource to be managed, just like all the other resources in your life. When you manage it properly and make it part of your system, you'll find your success. So harness the power of failure. As Scott Adams says, grab it around the throat and squeeze until it coughs up that furball of success. Share your goals. Then take the additional step of identifying action steps to take toward your goals, and you increase your chances of success to 64%. Those action steps, that system and structure, are crucial because, you see, goals alone won't get you there. Without action steps, your goals are just nice pictures on that vision board you made. When you focus exclusively on your goals, it's easy to set yourself up not to succeed because you're living in a constant state of failure. If I'm working toward a goal and I'm not there yet, then I'm living in failure, right? With a goal, there's only one way to succeed, and you only get to enjoy your success when you get to the end. And all along the way, you have an infinite number of ways to fail. Instead of focusing exclusively on your goal, create a reliable system, something that you can easily and readily and willingly and happily repeat every day. That's goal setting to the present. Then you succeed every day, not by reaching the goal, but by moving in the right direction every day. You may be thinking about that saying, it's the journey, not the destination. And that's so true. It's the process, the daily tasks that matter, the action steps that will get you where you want to go. And you're already 64% of the way there. And the third step in your system, make weekly progress reports to that goal buddy. This is the accountability factor. When you do that, you increase your chances of success to 76%. And now the third set of three. First, take my 21-day mindset challenge. For 21 days, manifest a mindset for the results you want to see in your life. Let me know that you've accepted and report back to me weekly on your progress over the next 21 days. That simple accountability factor, along with the other steps we talked about, can increase your success rate up to 76%. Second, take my 21-day skill set challenge. Set or update your big specific goals by asking yourself the right questions, and create reliable systems to move you in the direction of those goals. Again, let me know that you've accepted and report back to me weekly on your progress over the next 21 days. And third, take action by putting formal systems and support structures in place, systems like coaching. Your first step is to schedule your complimentary What's Next strategy session with me. I block time for a certain number of these sessions each month, and I've set aside 3 in September for people who are here today. So let me know right away that you'd like one. We'll talk one-on-one and together discover your unique MSG and your next steps so you can begin to live the life that makes you come alive. When would now be a good time to start? Thank you for allowing me to speak with you today. I wish you great success and joy as you discover, create, and live the life that makes you come alive. Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sallie, so much. Let's open it up for any Q&A, please. Any questions that you might have about the topic? I just want to say I love what you said about the $100 and how it was like, you know, he said he wanted this, and then he actually had deer. And I've shared this with Nancy. The last few years, I've really love discovering how much magic power we have. And I hope that doesn't freak people out, you know, the word magic, but it's like writing things down and working with people, and just it's been really amazing to discover our abilities. So any questions?
Yes, I do have one. You said something that I always have been struggling with, and is sharing any projects or any things that I do with those projects overall in my personal life. So you mentioned that if I share it with somebody, that will generate a more growth of my goals? I imagine that because you are more conscious telling things. What is I mean, is that really a way to get more successful with our goals? Because
absolutely, it's the accountability, right? Because we've told somebody, we've shared it, we've put it out there into the universe, and sometimes we don't do that for multiple reasons. And I suggested one is, what if we fail? And we've told people that we're going to do it, and now we didn't, and so now we're embarrassed. We're, all of those kinds of things. It's almost magical thinking that we think if we say it to somebody, then we've jinxed it. Does anybody ever feel like that? Oh, if I tell somebody, then it's not going to happen. So I'm going to be a secret agent. I'm not going to tell anybody. And yet when we speak it, there's power in that spoken word, right? And we've put it out there that, yes, I am creating this thing. And there are all kinds of studies and reasons why it's true. And the statistics show that when you take that step of the accountability factor, then and reporting your progress, then 76% success rate, as opposed to when we don't do that extra step.
Thank you.
Interesting. So what's the 21-day challenge? Is that something that, okay, how do we, so we come to you and you tell us for the 20, how does that, what's the process?
It's just kind of a fun thing. And if you're interested in it, I put my contact information in the chat. It's just a very informal thing. I do this with a lot of people and they really love it. It's the accountability factor, right? So just for that 21-day period, you get into the habit of reporting to somebody and taking steps. And so you report on the steps. Recently, a young woman I was working with, and she did the 21-day challenge. And as she neared the end of it, she was so excited. And she said, and I've already set up my goal buddy. I already have my new accountability partner. I'm going to keep doing this, because she could see the results in her life and in her business just in that 21-day period.
Beautiful. Thank you. And you're putting that in the chat room, or how do we
I put my contact information in the chat, so everyone should be able to see how to get in touch with me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And
I find it's fascinating, and I wish more people would have been here to hear this, because this is a true message. And I know that once we apply it, I mean, I've done, that's what we need in our world right now, because we're all going different directions. So I'm very grateful. I never miss one of these sessions because, it's so fascinating. It's so interesting. Yeah. And rewarding. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
thank you. Anybody else? Nancy?
Well, I was just thinking, a lot of people get wrapped up in doing the day-to-day functions of their job rather than taking the time to really plan and really think about where they want to go. And so when you have somebody that you can just kind of share some of that with and make your plans and then report in, it's like, obviously it works because it's like the Weight Watchers model. You know what I mean? Like you think, oh, well, maybe I better not eat that. I have to weigh in tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it's that mindset that you have, and they've proven that successful. And this is the same thing for your business. It's like, oh, well, maybe I better do what I said I was going to do because I'm checking in tomorrow with Sallie. So it gives you that extra accountability that sometimes we tend to not, oh, well, it's okay, I'll do it another day, or I'll get to, what does it matter, or who's going to know? And but when you have to report to somebody, it does matter then. And you do tend to be much more structured and successful because you are having to check in with somebody, and we all want to have that. It's almost like at school, you wanted to impress the teacher, you wanted to do well. This is the same thing. You want to not disappoint and be successful. So there's a lot that we kind of forget once we get into the work world, and we tend to wonder where the days went and how we spent our time, and have we moved ourselves forward. towards our goal. And by having somebody to be accountable to, that you sit down and take the time to make those goals, yeah, how could you not be more successful? I mean, really, it's the way to, it's a proven system. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it helps to prioritize. We are all so busy and we're bombarded with so many things to do and we're pulled in so many different directions. And if you don't have a clear path, then it's easy to get distracted and pulled away by all the squirrels and the shiny objects, right? And it's kind of like the Pareto principle, 20% of our effort will yield 80% of our results. The trick is, what's the 20%? And when you have this kind of system and structure in place, it will keep you focused on your 20% and you don't get drawn into that 80%.
And I just wanted to add, just because I know a little bit more about what you do, is that there's also this place, because of your toolbox, where you can empower people if there is blocks in certain things. So I'm imagining your process as you're going through. Anytime we do a challenge, anytime I hear these 21-day challenges, I know it's a challenge. There's this huge opportunity for growth, right? It's just like, that's why they do it, because it's giving you this time period to have awareness, learn some new skills. But what I love is that you have these tools like EFT and NLP and things that empower. And when we look for speakers such as you, Sallie, one of the things that I look at is, are you going to create clients that are addicted to you? Or are you going to empower your clients to be self-empowered? And so that's one of the things that I love about what you're doing in your work, and is that she wants to empower you. She wants you to learn these tools and be able to go off and thrive. So just another perspective to the 21-day. Did I speak out of context? Is that, because I haven't done it yet? I'm like, I want to do this.
You got it exactly right. There are many times when the reason we're not achieving in our business is because of a block or some limiting belief in our personal life, and vice versa. It's all interrelated. It's hard to separate. And we do have those blocks, those limiting beliefs that hold us back. And sometimes we don't know about it because they're in our subconscious mind. It's those mind apps. And you're right that these other things can accelerate the process of identifying it. And I love you. I love you all. I'd love to be friends forever. And you don't necessarily need to continue to work with me forever. The goal is, as Shannon said, you learn what you need, and then you're empowered to do it on your own. And that's what's fabulous about EFT and NLP.
Wonderful. Any other questions as we wrap this up?
A big thank you.
Thank you, Sallie, so much. Really, really appreciative. Thank you, Nancy, for giving us this great platform and community. And Carolina, can we give Carolina a round of applause for always running all the technology and marketing and that. And one of the great things that how you could support the chambers, please check into the event on Facebook. You can leave a comment, if you can share anything that we're doing. It's beautiful how, as a community, just those little things can make a difference. And we had Omar here, who's a new member. He said he's going to be at the lunch tomorrow. Who's going to the lunch tomorrow? Do I get to see? Yay! I'm so excited. And so, he was asking, how do I share the chamber? How do I share these things? And it's like, invite them to one of these events. Nancy, if we have somebody that's wanting to check out the chamber, let Cindy know, let Nancy know, Carolina know, like, invite them to one of our events, let them see and feel the connection that we have. If they're spending money in marketing, say, hey, wait, before you spend money on marketing, sit down with these guys and just look at their marketing plan. And also just reach out. part of what Nancy, I love, hopefully Nancy is okay, I'm saying this, and if you need to rephrase it, what I love about you, Nancy, is that you're open to ideas to help businesses grow and thrive. So for example, if you have a great speaker you want to bring in, let us know. If you have a connection that you think, hey, Nancy, maybe we could do an event here, let us know. Like it's all of us coming together to, what do they say? Rising ships. What is that quote?
The rising tide raises all ships.
Raises all ships, yes. And so we're in this tide together. And so I'm just really, really appreciative. So those little moments of sharing things, liking things, all those algorithms is a whole other world. So, anything that we can do to connect. Ron, I'm so glad you're here. I think that maybe sometime we could have Ron speak on digital marketing and Google and all the cool things. So we have to talk about that. And we're always looking for sponsors for this group. And what's so great about sponsoring this group is that you get in all the marketing that they do, and they do lots of marketing, both online and offline, and their website, but you also get showcased for everybody. And we do like to do that in the beginning with the Facebook Live, so everybody can see you and hear you and all those great things. So Nancy, any final remarks?
I don't think so. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Sallie, and thank you, Shannon, for all you do. Like I said, I appreciate the amazing speakers that we are able to have that we wouldn't be able to when we're in person. So I hope people continue to take advantage of these wonderful resources, and hopefully we'll see you in person maybe tomorrow, but if not, in the near future.
Okay, great. And then I'm going to show you guys how to save the chat real quick. And then I want to hear from Sallie how she saves the chat. But I'm going to show you my desktop. So it's going to be interesting for a moment. But when you click on the chat, you can see this is where you type. Here are the 3 buttons. And so just hit
we cannot see your we see like some news.
Okay, wrong one. Hold on. Can you see the desktop now?
Nope, same article.
It's because I'm hitting desktop. What about now?
We're seeing waterfront gourmet restaurant brings comfort food with a flair.
Okay, you're not seeing my chat. Can you see that if I put it on top of it?
Oh, is that for Lazy Turtle?
No, this is for the yellow dog. This is what they got at the
okay.
media auction.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's what we're seeing.
Okay, so never mind. I guess I'm not going to be able to show you, but if you click on the chat, there are where you type. So you're going to type in the upper right-hand corner of where you type, you'll see a smiley face, and you'll see those 3 dots. And so if you click on those 3 dots, there is an option to save the chat, and it'll put it in a folder. Sallie, I can't wait to hear. The other thing I love about Zoom meetings is I'm always learning of new things to do.
Yeah. Okay, so if you put your cursor in the chat area and right click, you should see select all, and then right click again and copy, and then paste it into an email, send it to yourself, and all the links are live. I love the part about the links are live. That way it's easy to get in touch with people.
Wait, go through that again real quick.
Okay, so put your cursor in the chat area. Like mine is right next to where Amy said magnificent. So I'm hovering there, right click on your mouse, select all, and it should highlight everything in the chat. Now right click again and you can choose copy. It'll say copy or select all. So I'm going to choose copy. And now I can paste that into an email that I send to myself.
That's what I need. Brilliant. That's because, when you go back to the chat, it's not that simple to kind of go through it. This is brilliant. Oh my goodness. You see, it's worth coming to these sessions.
I know, right?
Geraldine, I love every time. Amy, did you get it? Are you all right?
I'm Apple, so I don't think I have those same commands.
I'm Apple too.
Oh.
And so you just find a white space in the chat.
Right.
and right click. So, or right tap. I don't know which one you have. If you have the flat board, I have both. I'm a little and then you right click, and then there's a select all option. So you hit the select all option first, and then right click again, and then hit copy.
Yeah,
If you have the flat board, where do you hit on the Mac?
mine is
If you don't have a mouse.
On the right side. So it's just like this is just like a laptop. So everything that you would do on a laptop, you just do the same. You can make it bigger, smaller. It's really nice.
I have one at home and have the worst trouble. Like, I get so frustrated. I like my desktop better, and I'm like, oh, good Lord, why did I buy one of these? And I don't know all the tricks on it, so it drives me crazy.
yeah. I don't know why it just isn't, I've saved the chat, and, I'll rely on that. I like it's fine. This is perfect. It's not a problem.
Awesome. Great. So I'm going to ask the final closing question of Nancy, and I'm putting you on the spot. How can we support you?
Well, I think one of the biggest things we have coming up that's going to be a whole lot of work is the Palm Bay Multicultural Festival. And we moved it to January 29th because the numbers of COVID were going up so much. And we we're expecting a few thousand people to come to it. So if you are able to share that it's happening, we are still looking for some groups to participate, cultural groups. Booths are available. They're only $25. Cultural groups are free, and there are some sponsorship opportunities available. And now what's great is because it's a few months out, with your sponsorship, you'll get much more exposure because it's happening for a long time. And we're doing billboards, we're doing magazine ads, newspaper ads. There'll be a lot of exposure for this. So, but sharing that event, letting people know about it. We have a lot from the cottage industries that are participating, since they had a very difficult time when things were closed to sell their merchandise. So we're expecting to have the whole cultural area. There's going to be food trucks and lots of food, entertainment all day long, and then a marketplace. So there'll be something for everybody, and it's at Brad Poppy Regional Park. So that's really what I could use some assistance with, is just letting more people know about it. We already have 50 participants, so it's moving along really nicely. We're expecting we'll probably have 100 by the time we get to the end of this. But yeah, it's going to be a great event. But I just, word of mouth and sharing it. Caroline has done a lovely job of getting it out there. And now that we've kind of pushed it out, we just have more time. So if you can share it, that's terrific.
And I'm going to just share a couple things I just noticed from your website. So what the key thing that you said is that time period of sponsorship. This is what I tell people with events. I'm like, sponsor as early as you can. Like, don't wait the last minute. I mean, we appreciate the last minute sponsorships, and it's like, it's more important than you're there than you're not, but it's like the months of marketing. So what's really cool about their website, so I just went to events. So here's today's event. Here's the information. All of these are the share buttons. So right here, like I just clicked on Twitter, it already populates things to be able to say. So the chambers made it really easy for us to go in and share what's going on. So there's the ribbon cutting, and Nancy, you are just incredible at constantly building that place for us to connect. I know next month we have a special guest at the Brevard Business Professionals. His name is Scott Donat. I have to get a little more information to you guys about him, but Scott Donat is somebody here who has led a workshop that came out of Hollywood. And what they found was, it's called the Way Through Workshop. He also does a lot of just personal, or powerful work. But in this workshop, actors and actresses used to get stuck in their part. I mean, imagine this, like you play a role for a year and you're acting it out, and then you act like they get stuck in their part. And so Art Sellers developed this work a number of years ago. And then he realized that we all get stuck in our parts. Like we come up with certain things of our upbringing, or we come up with certain and so he, when I first did his workshop, was at the Board of Realtors, I want to say 18 years ago, and it gave me my voice. It helped me get in touch with just things that were there, the parts that I was stuck in, the beliefs that I was stuck in. And so I'm really excited for you guys to connect with him. He is a local. He's also a reflexologist, and he has some other gifts and talents, but here will be a great topic. And I'm please invite people and help us grow. So with that, Nancy, thank you so much. Carolina, thank you so much. And Sallie, we love you. Thank you, Joanna, Patricia, and Geraldine, and Ron, and Amy, and Cindy. And we'll see you tomorrow at the lunch or an upcoming event, and then we'll see you next month.
Cool.
All right. Bye for now.